All right, another episode of Conversation After Dark. Tay, what's up with you?
Everything's great with me. What's going on with you?
It's all good. It's all good. Tell people where they can find us.
You can find us at Conversates After Dark everywhere. And if you would like to be a guest on the show or you have a topic you want us to cover, you can reach us at CVAD, the podcast at gmail.com.
That's right. Go to our website, www.conversationafterdark.com. Check out our past episodes. Make sure you share the show. So, Tay, let's do the icebreaker.
All right. Which one you want me to go with?
Uh, Extreme personal questions.
Okay. Okay. What is the kinkiest thing you have done to yourself while you were alone?
Pinkiest thing that I've done to myself.
Yes.
Uh, wow, that is an extreme personal question. I would say, I was supporting a associate that had a sex toy business. So I bought one of those pocket rockets
Mm-hmm.
and ended up using that joint. And man, it was off the chain. It was so damn good. I was like, you know what? I need to go ahead and just hide this somewhere because I'll mess around and get hooked on this joker. So it was one of the ones. It's not like you know how like they have you go to like the novelty stores, they'll have like, over the top. They'll have like the butt cheeks and the vagina and everything and all that. This is
Mm-hmm.
just a simple, like, I don't know if it was latex or what type of rubber it was, but it had holes on both ends so
Right.
that if you wanted to use it with a partner, right, you could use it with a partner. So say like you're using it on your penis and then she wanted to suck from the other end, she could do that. But you throw some lube on that joint. Listen, it's like being in the tightest coochie you've ever been in, and it set me off. But yeah, that's probably the kinkiest thing I've ever done. Telling all my business.
I think I know exactly the toy you're talking about because
Uh,
I used to sell for a company back in the day that's no longer existing.
yeah,
Yeah. Um, I don't know if this is kinky, but I have actually made myself squirt once and I haven't been able to repeat it and it has never happened with a partner. So
you didn't remember what you did, like you can, reenact the motion or the vibration or whatever you were doing.
I know exactly what I did because it's the same thing. It's the same thing I do when I guess I should say when I'm having extended time with myself. So
Okay,
the moves that I did, I've done before.
okay.
And I've had people do them to me, manually. So I don't know why this time was different. And
Were
like I
you
said, I haven't
thinking?
been.
Were
Go
you
ahead.
thinking about or watching something that may have had you made more excited at the time?
I'm usually watching some form of porn while I'm doing it, so it wasn't anything out of the ordinary.
And maybe you was drinking extra water or eating a lot of fruit at the time. Maybe biological. Maybe that's why it happened.
It could be, I don't know.
Could be. Could be. But speaking of porn,
Hmm.
does it is it ever when does it become a problem for you? Like I'll say for me, I'll go first. I don't really have a problem with my partner watching porn, but I was talking to a homeboy of mine and he was kind of bothered by his wife watching porn in particular because she wasn't watching male female porn, she was watching like female, like woman on woman porn. And I don't know why he was bothered by it, but he was just like, it just don't sit right with me, and I would think that you'd be more upset about her watching porno, like say you were like you're a chubby dude or whatever and she's watching muscle bound dudes, or you black and she watching white dudes, or the dude she watching's got like monster dicks and you don't. I would say you having more of a problem with that, but he seemed to have more of a problem with it being non-heterosexual sex because I guess in his mind he's there's no way he can compete with that. When does it become a problem for you? And do you think he's tripping? Two different questions.
I can't say he's tripping because we're all entitled to our feelings, and I can understand why that would be a problem for someone. I mean, in terms of, someone's attracted to something or turned on by something that you can't provide no matter how much you try. I could see how that could be a problem for someone, but I don't think it should be.
Mhm.
I don't know. But I don't porn
You
is
wouldn't
not
have a problem. You wouldn't have a problem if the dude you was messing with was like all he watched was like interracial porn. It was nothing but white girls and shit. You wouldn't feel some type of way about that.
I actually was at one point in time, but the dude, because outside of porn, he had a fetish for another race. Um, so that did bother me, but once I got over it on the outside, it didn't bother me when he was watching porn either. I mean, and that's why I said I can understand why someone would have a problem with somebody being attracted to something or being turned on by something that you can't provide. I can understand that.
Understood.
Yeah.
Janine said, "Hey, he probably feels like he can't compete." That's what I think.
Mhm.
Maybe he's sensing something in her that that makes maybe making him feel threatened. And obviously a man can't compete with what a woman brings to the table. I mean, there's certain things that we can do similarly, but it's just different, right?
Yeah,
Um, Sandy says it becomes a problem when you are watching it in the car while doing daily activities.
that is a problem.
What about watching it on your lunch break at work?
I was just thinking, I don't know who this was specifically, but there was a rumor going around at my job years ago about a guy being fired because he was watching porn on the work computer.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've heard of that happen before.
Mhm.
Um, I don't think they necessarily caught this particular person watching porn, but like we had like data restrictions on our laptops,
Mhm.
and apparently he did an all-nighter, and people start rumors or what have you. And so like the IT department was like, yo, clearly he had to be on. They didn't say it because I'm sure they could track what site he was on. But like
Mhm.
if you watching it on your work computer though, like you just really don't care.
Right, right. Especially, well, this rumor said he was doing it during work times. So, so yeah, he had a problem.
So you on the work computer and during work time?
Yes.
Nah, you just don't care.
Yeah.
Nah, you just
I think it can also be a problem if your partner needs porn to be intimate with you,
that happens more often than you think though.
and that's a problem.
But I don't think that necessarily is a reflection on the woman if it's the man doing that. I can see what you're saying, and I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying, but I think that's more of a reflection on the man and his lack of attention to his health. Because
Yeah,
basically that's an enhancer, right? Instead of taking a pill, like 'cause I know some dudes that are like, man, I got to kind of watch some porn and jack it off a little bit before I can, have sex with my wife. And I'm like, bro, you need to start working out. You need
yeah,
to start eating better, see your doctor or something, because you shouldn't have to do that. She should be able to get you where you need to be. Now, of
right. And
course, maybe things are stale. I don't want to say stale because that's maybe harsh. Maybe things have become routine because you have been together for so long, but that still is not a good sign in my personal opinion.
yeah, and I wasn't blaming it on the woman if
Yeah.
it's going that way. I mean, it could go the other way also. I'm just saying whether you need it because you're tired of your partner, or you're doing it because you can't personally get it up without it. Either way, it's a problem, in my opinion.
Yeah, as we get older, our former guest, what she said you had that what she call it?
I'm on.
Um wasn't a stroke out moment, short out. She said you ain't had your short out moment yet. You know what I'm saying? Which is crazy because a lot of times you see guys talking about, they want to do crazy stuff when they get to the, middle age. You want threesomes, you want, orgies, things of that nature. And you start wanting to mess with younger women. But, the question that I have is, can you keep up with that younger woman if you, happen to get her? Can you get it up? I don't know. When you were younger, did you mess with older men, Tay? And did they have a problem with putting it down?
I had one experience with a guy who was about 15 years older than me, I guess.
Okay.
And he didn't have an issue.
So technically not old enough to be your daddy, but he was.
No, 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 no,
It
no.
was still that's still a big gap.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, he was back then. I mean, because I was in my early 20s, so he was in his 30s.
Okay.
He didn't have any problems.
Okay. Yeah, because if you're in your 30s, you shouldn't be having no issues, bro.
Shouldn't be. But from
You in
what I
your
hear,
30s, you shouldn't, I can see maybe like 39, 30, because you're around 39, 40s when like you really start like, I hate to say over the hill, but that's when like, man, we start to see our bodies change and,
mhm,
shit starts to get real with your health right around 39, 40 or so, if you haven't been doing the right things. So I can see late 30s, but if you're in your early to mid 30s, bro, you shouldn't be having no issues, man. You
no.
just, and and maybe our doctor friends or whatever say we should have a little bit more compassion, but I'm just like, come on, bro. Like, what's going on with that? And I think that's the advantage y'all have over us because yes, menopause is a thing. Maybe it doesn't get as wet as it used to. Maybe y'all got that trick knee. You can't bounce on it like you used to, but y'all can still, just throw a little KY, a little Afro glide on it, and you can get your little 25-year-old to get pounded out. You know what I mean? All the time.
True.
Be like Dre and Michelle, with Jalen Green. She 30, was she 39 and got
Mhm.
and got pregnant by it was due 24, 25,
I thought he was 22.
20. Yeah, he's the same age as her son.
Right, right.
What you think about that? Fair or foul?
Ah, because of her reputation, it's definitely foul because I'm sure she's using him for a check.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
Ab-
that's what makes it foul for me in their situation.
So you think if say he just worked at UPS and she had an office job. She 39, he's 22, and she gets pregnant by him. Does that make it different? Does it make it less wrong, that age gap?
That pregnancy part is another thing that makes it foul because I don't know if you trying to live your cougar lifestyle, your cougar fantasy, whatever, and you get pregnant, I don't know. That's taking a little bit. That's taking the fantasy too far into reality.
Is that a fantasy that, well, let me ask you this. Should people be judged harshly for some of the fantasies? Obviously, like there's some people that have like pedophile fantasies and shit like that. Yeah, they should be judged. But like some people got some fantasies that may be a little far out there depending on how vanilla you are, right? Is the
Mhm.
cougar fantasy too far, or and is that a common fantasy? Like, do women when they get middle aged, do they kind of have like, damn, you know what? I kind of want to get broke up by a little young dude.
I don't know if it's necessarily a fantasy, but what I will say is those young dudes, they will push up on the older women. I saw it when I was in my 20s and I see it now that I'm in my 40s. Those young dudes, they will push up on an older woman. So I think sometimes like I know this is just a movie, but I'm going to put it out there. I know on how Stella Got a Groove Back, they landed in that situation because I can't remember his name. The
What in
Jamaican
Winston? What is that? Winston or something like
Winston.
that?
That's right,
Yeah.
Winston. He kept he kept after her. He kept not I won't say pushing her because that sounds predatory. He kept
Oh, he was predatory because first of all, when you saw him on Oprah, dude don't even look like he really liked women.
well, I mean, well,
And it looked like that was probably like a green card thing.
in real life, the guy that the character was based off of, it did come out later that he lived an alternative lifestyle.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. But
yeah.
I'm specifically talking about the movie.
Okay.
I do think I and to my point that I was trying to make is that I don't know if it's necessarily a fantasy that every woman has. I think some women who wind up in that situation I think a lot of it is the younger dude pushing up on them. It could be the other way, but I think a lot of times it's the younger dude pushing up on
Because I think that that's probably a fantasy for a young dude.
them. Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
somebody. who's like your mama's age.
Hmm.
Probably not for like guys of my era because mamas when we were coming up looked like mamas. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
don't know,
you
because
know, huh?
you and I are the same age, and like I said, when I was in my 20s, I used to hear the guys who were my age talking about getting with older women. So
Well, I mean, maybe that's a geography thing, but I just know like most of the women, most of the dudes that I know, some of them had young mamas, but most of the guys, like mama looked like mama. You know, there was nothing attractive about like a woman that was like my mama's age. And maybe it's because it's my age now, but like women of your generation, like y'all holding it down. Like y'all are able to, somewhat keep up with the younger girls in terms of like how y'all carry yourselves, your looks, and everything. So I can see it being more of a desire for young guys now because sisters that were middle age, hell, black don't crack. They keeping it right. That's all I'm saying.
okay, maybe it's a geography thing, like you
It could
said,
be.
because
Yeah.
I used to see it a lot
Yeah.
when I
Oh,
was when I was younger.
let me see what they say in the chat. So Janine said, I dated older and it was a problem. One had heart issues, one had diabetes. Damn. Yeah. They said, like, check with your doctor. If it's safe for you to have sex, that's what they mean.
Yeah.
Sandy said, all men will have that short out moment no matter what pill or or shot men use. I sure hope you're wrong, Sandy. Let's keep going. Janine said she need her butt beat talking about Dre and Michelle.
Yeah.
Sandy said that's effed up and she's doing it wrong. She's only supposed to get an orgasm, not a baby. I agree with
Exactly.
that one. I agree. Sandy said, shout out to the sisters that will pull all the stretch marks out in front of young dudes. Ain't no way. I have a son so young dudes were never appealing. I
Yeah.
get it.
That's
Ron,
I always say when I turned 30 and I started being hit on by dudes who were in their 20s, just the level of conversation wasn't, it just wasn't flowing. So that turned me off from the cougar fantasy. I don't have it.
but part of in the cougar fantasy, like y'all ain't gotta talk. Y'all just gotta put on your mean face and fuck.
Even for that, I need to be around somebody that I want to be around. And if in my mind I'm thinking, you're a dummy. I can't I can't even I can't even get intimate with you.
Damn. Okay. Ron said I always dated older since high school. Not Monique, not mama older, but a few years older. I'm gonna tell you something. I have no desire to be in a relationship with an older woman. Like like we could definitely kick it. We could, you know, have sex or what have you. But a relationship, I learned early on when I was in college. My college girlfriend, she was 2 years older than me. And there's something about, women mature more at a faster rate than men do already, right? And that's what makes that whole Drea Jalen Green thing even more unseemly because like number one, he's your son, literally your son's age. And mentally, emotionally, you're running circles around this dude. And that's what makes it seem, creepy as fuck. But in a dating situation, to Ron's point, Bernie Mac had a joke where he said, you date with a woman, she want to be your pastor, your accountant, your manager, and all that shit. And when you with an older woman, hey, older women like to boss you around, and I can't. It's not me. I'm a man's man. Nah, I still wear the pants in the relationship, and it just don't work for me. The most I could do, like Tay's older than me. Me and Tay ain't in a relationship, obviously, but like just like a few months
3
older,
months.
maybe. What'd you say?
I said about 3 months.
That's probably like, yeah, that's probably it, man. 3 to 9 months, but once you start getting over a year or two, because you ain't gonna be bossing me around. I can't do it.
Yeah. In terms of the opposite way, what kept me from seriously dating, because the guy that who was 15 years older than me, that was not a serious thing. But from what kept me from dating someone significantly older on a serious level, because I remember this lady who went to my church years ago, and I think I was in my teens. She was in her 40s at the time. and her husband was 20 years older. And I remember her sitting us down one time and she was like, "Don't do it." She said, "Because when you're in your 40s and you still got a long life, you still feel young and free and you want to go out and have fun, he gonna be at home in his chair and you're gonna have to start taking care of him." I was like, I listen to the wisdom of the older women. Yeah.
Okay, let's put a pin in that. We'll come back to that. Let's put a pin in that. So let me ask this question first.
Hmm.
Is it okay now dating somebody that much younger than you? I think we all can agree that's predatory. That's a problem. But is it okay if you just want to smash? No pregnancy, no relationship, just hey, somehow, some way we at the same venue. Um, this young dude pushed up on me, this young gal pushed up on me. They like, hey, I'm feeling you. What's up? Let's go hit it off. Is it foul just to have a one-off fuck situation?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think you can have fun as long as everybody knows it's just for fun. And then, have your fun and then be gone.
So I always say what creeps me out is I have like daughters who are in their 20s, early 20s, mid 20s. And like I used to be a strip club dude. Now I'm not really that big into the strip club because it's like, a lot of the girls are in their early 20s, mid 20s. And, I'm in the strip club, like, like I'm the police or undercover federal officer, ask them, how old are you? Because like if you're the same age as my daughter, I can't get a lap dance from you, right? So if I see one that's like in their 30s or whatever, she getting all my money. But like I'm so mental, I wouldn't be able to at 47, I wouldn't be able to smash somebody in a early because I would constantly be making that comparison. I would constantly be looking at myself like, what are you doing?
Hmm.
Like, why are you doing this? I probably think like maybe 30, 30 or so would probably be the youngest. Early 30s would probably be the youngest I could go.
Okay.
Because I think when you get into your 30s, you're pretty much somewhat established as an adult. So it's less of a creep factor.
Right. Yeah.
So you would do it, Tay.
I don't know. I don't know. I already told you if I sense some that you are unintelligent or you're not mature, I don't know if I can go there. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but
Mhm.
I don't know, just for my personal taste, I don't think I could do it.
So Danielle said, I don't want to have sex with a man who's young enough to be my child. Okay, I get it. Sandy said a 30-year-old stripper is a senior citizen in that field. Yeah, they definitely, yeah, but hey, Sandy, I done seen some who were 30 plus. I've seen some who I've seen some mamas who had daughters in there dancing with them. And they still was, what was old girl's name on the pink? Um
Mississippi.
not Mississippi, the one the main stripper, she was the one that was
Oh,
sleeping with Coach.
yeah. I can't think of her name, but I know you're talking about.
Was it Diamond? Wasn't Diamond? What was her
No,
name?
I
They've
can't
been
think
on
of
high ages for so long, they need to bring it back. But
her.
anyway, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Your older stripper, you start having
Mercedes.
Mercedes, yeah, Mercedes. You're older stripper, you start having shoulder issues, you can't work the pole, and you want to dance to the knee brace. Take that shit out. I mean, we want full nude. Ron said, agree, Marv V. I have daughters as well. Yeah, bro. Yeah. Sandy said Mercedes. Yeah, for sure. All right. So, fair foul. You're in a relationship with somebody and you like to go out. Let's imagine that you like to go out. Okay. And your partner, he's a few years older than you, and he really don't want to go out and do things. He don't want to hit a lounge. He don't want to go to dinner. Y'all get invited to weddings or vow renewals or different things like that. And he's like, I'd rather sit at home. Is that enough for grounds for divorce?
As someone who has never been married, I don't feel I have the right to answer that question. I don't know.
I'm gonna grant you authority for this episode, Tay.
Um, I would say no, based on my thoughts of what a marriage is supposed to be. It shouldn't be based on whether we go out or whether we can go out. I mean, if it's that bad, I can go out with my friends, you know. But I don't know. I was gonna say I think that's conversation worthy. As I always say, communication is you should help everything. But if he or she is still unwilling, I don't know. I don't know.
It's hard. It's definitely hard because yes, you can go to certain places by yourself. Yes, you can go with your girls. Obviously, if you're not in a non-monogamous situation, sometimes it gets old. You know, everybody showing up with their partner, and then you got to ask the questions like, you know, where's your husband? You know, I've been in that situation before, like where I've gone out and everybody else is there with their wife or their significant other, and then you always got to field the question, you know, like, you know, where your wife at? Where your wife at? And it's always they had like a convenient excuse not to be there. So like not that you really couldn't question them, but after a while you can see like, you know what, they just don't want to hang out. They just don't want to be with me in these type of settings.
Mhm.
So it does get old and it does make you feel less than like why don't you want to hang with me? Why don't you want to spend time with me? But on the flip side, it's also bad when you go somewhere and you ask somebody to go and they don't want to go, but they go just to appease you. So like you're at a concert and you're like really into the artist and they're kind of just sitting there, you know, like a frog on a log. And you're just like, well, damn, you know, you could have just stayed home. But
That
I wanted you to come with me, but I wanted to have a good time with you. So, you know, that conversation piece that you talk about, that's important because you got to find a way to compromise because if all you just want to do is sit in the house and I'm tired of sitting in the house, it gets tough on both parties because I can imagine somebody who's a homebody,
mhm.
um, like damn, I don't, they may be uncomfortable, maybe they gain weight, maybe they have developed social anxiety, maybe they just like, hey, listen, your friends, your coworkers, I don't really like them, your family, I don't really like them, so that's why they want to stay at home, but it can definitely cause some problems.
Yeah, I can see that. Um, I still don't know if it's grounds for divorce, but I can see how that can push someone to divorce.
It's not divorce, non-monogamy. Because you know, that was always my thing. Like, you know, hey, listen, I love you, I want to be with you, but you know, there's certain things that we just don't click on. There's certain things that we don't want to do together. Like, you know, last episode we talked about like, you know, taking on your partner's habits and doing stuff with your partner. But what if you want to do certain things and they just don't want to do it? And you know you don't want to go with your girls, you want to have somebody of the opposite sex with you. What if I want to go see a Dr. Umar lecture and you ain't into Dr. Umar, but you know my work wife is militant like me and she down to go, why can't I go with her?
Ugh, see, that's where you get in them murky waters. If y'all are not non-monogamous, that's where them.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. So that's why you got to have that discussion because my thing is like 80-20, like 80% of what you bring to the table I like, but maybe that 20, we might need to subcontract.
Yeah. Now, is this a case of they needed to have more conversations before they got married? Because I think a lot of situations, I can't say all, but I think a lot of situations like that can be stopped if y'all had a conversation before marriage and y'all realize, yeah, we not the type that need to be together. I don't know.
That's true. And compatibility. I had a homeboy, he was with this chick, and everybody thought that they was gonna get married. They looked great together, they seemed to have fun together. But of course you don't see what happens behind the doors, right? And I need to ask him what test he took, but they took like they're doing premarital counseling and they took this compatibility test. And the compatibility test said, hey, listen, y'all shouldn't be together. Long term, it's not gonna work out. And I remember I was married at the time, and I told my wife this, and she asked me the question because y'all know y'all ask these questions. She was like, "You wish you'd have took a compatibility test before you married me," and I was just like, because Because it could have been both ways because um, and I'm gonna ask you a question. When we first got together, we were having fun. And then, if you're together for a significant amount of time, like I was married for 15 years, together with her for 17,
Mhm.
you change as a person. So there was times where I wasn't feeling myself, wasn't feeling how I look. I didn't want to be out. I didn't want to go to events or be around people. Then, things changed and I'm feeling myself. I want to be out. I want to enjoy life. And, she's like, well, shit, go and enjoy it then, because I ain't feeling you right now. So, yes, you can address it, but as you grow as a person, you change and the relationship has to evolve as well. I admire people that been married for several years and they can like we sit and we watch Netflix together and we do everything together and we're best friends. That ain't as easy as people think.
No.
It's not. It's not. Let's see what they got to say in the chat. All right. Ron said communication is definitely important. Situation like that could easily cause a couple to drift apart. Yep, for sure. And when you lose that connection, it's hard to get it back. It's hard to get it back. Sandy said the key is definitely compromising. And then Sandy said Mr. Ernest will eventually get cheated on. That's messed up, but true. Denise said, I'm going to find me a good Judy, no disrespect, and have a ball. So for those who don't know what a good Judy is a gay man.
Mhm.
Typically, that's a black thing. I don't think white people say good Judy, whatever, but is a gay man that he hangs out with the girls, right?
Right.
And I don't know if I told this story on this show or not, but my ex-wife had her a good Judy, and dude was cool. So they would hang out together, right? They would go and they wouldn't always go to the gay bars. They would go to like brunch or do whatever. And the funny thing is, like, he was like, he was on my squad. So like
Mhm.
she would tell me, she was like, I can't say his name. I'll make up a name. She said Trent was out there hating for you. And I was like, what you mean? She's like, he was out there like, nah, The only man she could talk to other than her husband is me.
Those are the type of friends you want your spouse or significant
Right.
other.
Right. You know what I'm saying? He was gay as I get out. So, I wasn't threatened at all because we weren't was at the time. But, like, yeah, he was like, the only man she can talk to other than her husband is me. That was hilarious. Yeah, get you a good Judy. Let's see. Sandy said, my guy loves World War II stuff. I'm not a fan, but because I love him, I go to museums, etc. You won't like everything, but you have to be willing to bend.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. And hopefully when you go, you're not making it a unenjoyable experience for them, because yeah, you can go just to go through the motions, but who wants to drag somebody along that don't really want to be there? You fucking up the experience. Like, you mad, now he's mad, and then it's eventually that's going to just be more detrimental to y'all's relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sandy says she love her a good Judy. You ever had a good Judy? Tay?
Not since college, and we weren't that close. He was just the guy who kind of hung around in our circle.
Y'all get naked in front of the Judy?
I've never have. But I mean, I'm not one to just get naked in front of people, male, female, whatever. That's not me. I mean, unless I'm being intimate with them. I'm talking about that whole being with your friends, and that's not me. I'm not that type of person. So
What you do at the trap?
that again, I said outside of intimate situations, that's not me. I mean, it's just not.
I get it. 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 You don't want people saying what you say it's called butter.
Oh gosh.
Hey, in the chat, do you have a special name for your private part, for your partner's private part? Let us know. Tay and I were talking about that off air, if people do that. So let us know. Do you have a name for your private part or for your partner's private part? Let us know. We'll read them off on the air. That should be fun.
Yeah.
So Tay,
We
you
won't
got an
read your
answer?
name if you don't want us to.
You said what?
We won't read your name if or for that if you don't want us to.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I was gonna read their name, but I'm glad you said
Oh,
I, I'm glad you say so. Sadie said the Nolan spot was super white. The museum in Hattiesburg is all black. So exposing him to a different perspective on something he loves brought us closer. That's cool.
That's
That's,
good.
I've seen a lot of women say, I think you said it too, Tay, that when a man or your partner can expose you to something and educate you on something,
Mm.
um, I don't know if you said it's sexy or it's something that you really like. What did you
It
say?
is sexy.
Okay. Okay, got you. All right. All right. So Tay, you got an answer normal?
I do. And this question is it's only gonna be for a select few.
Okay.
In a situation where you're being intimate with more than one person. Oh, yeah. So like a group setting. 3 or more people are in the room.
So when you at the trap or when you in a so basically when you in an orgy or a threesome or
Don't have to
whatever.
be the trap. You can have this in your house.
Yeah, I mean, but you in an orgy setting or swinging setting, okay. This is
Or
make it plain.
threesome. Or threesome.
Or a threesome, okay.
Do you now I don't know if this is a question more so for men or if it can be for women too. Would you go down on the woman after another guy has been inside of her? He
Absolutely.
didn't come inside of her. They just had sex.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not. No. No. I can't do it.
Hmm.
Um you know that there's women who have gotten pregnant off pre-jack, right?
Yes. I know at least one.
So the fact that pre-jack can get a woman pregnant means that pre-jack is swimming up in there. So if he been up in it, and no, I'm not. I'm not eating that tape. I can't do that.
Okay. What about if he's wearing a condom?
Actually, I don't want to lick on a balloon. You know what I'm saying? The hell, no. No, we not. No, that's probably the limit. That's probably the limit. We talked about we talked about it in the group. Like I posted this meme, and it showed like a group sex setting and using like fruit and vegetables or whatever. And I said, the only thing that I will not do is go down in a group setting.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
all.
I can
That's the only thing
understand.
I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
And that might be hypocritical because I know in group setting most of the time, the women they stay with a dick in their mouth. But yeah, nah. But do y'all think about that when y'all in the group settings, or how's that work for y'all?
Yeah, I mean, it's all on personal preference. I mean, with any situation, it should be personal preference and consent.
Okay, trying to see what So they one person said, I'm gonna say their name. Said yes, I have one for mine and had one for his. Another person says his is the monster. What does that say, Tay? The monster what?
That's just the emoji. So his is the monster. I don't have a
Oh,
name for mine.
okay. She called it the monster. God damn. All right. Said, hell no, hell no, Tay. She knew she was gonna ask. Ron gave us the two thumbs down. Sean said raw dogging in a group setting is a hard no, right?
That's true. Yes. Yeah. Yes. It needs. Yes. Yes.
For
Yes.
me, it's a non-negotiable. You got a raw dog. I mean, not raw. Damn. You got to be strapped up. You got to be strapped up.
Yeah.
But are you strapped up when you are receiving dome too?
Should be in this day and age, but I can tell you from what I've witnessed, it doesn't always happen.
That's what I'm saying. Like most of the time, like if you getting head, that's naked head. But if you put it in the vagina or the butt, that's when you throw the condom on.
Hmm.
But you saying you should have had the condom on with head too?
Technically, isn't that what when we had the Michelle
Yeah.
that was a long time ago.
You
We
might need to
talked
have her
about
back on. Yeah.
yeah, we talked
But
about sex.
my thing though is if I got to get head with a condom on, I've had head with a condom on, and just don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. I mean, it ain't, like no, no. Now I have never used a dental dam. I would like to try a dental dam just to see if it's like worth it or not. You ever use a dental dam? Have somebody go down on you with a dental dam?
No, but technically, if this person is not your significant other, technically you should be using that also.
Yeah, because if you raw dogging head or eating the coochie, you might as well just go in raw. In some people's opinion.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
not my opinion. No, you can give me some head, and I'm gonna throw that condom on. You know what I'm saying? That's not my opinion. Sean said, Kevin said, greetings. What's up, man? Sandy said, likewise, as a woman in the past, once he penetrates the other woman, head is over for me. You agree with that, Tay?
Um, depends on the guy because if it's my dude and we're in that situation, yeah, I'm gonna. I mean, I've already been on him, so I already
But
know.
but with her on him, are you gonna go back down on him?
In a threesome situation, 9 times out of 10, I've already been with her
I
too. So
I got you. I got you.
yeah,
Yeah, understood. Understood. Sadie said Freudian slip, Marv. Maybe, maybe. Maybe, Sandy. So now I don't know, man. I think that if you in a, I ain't gonna say I don't know. I'm for sure that in those group settings, being safe is for me. If I'm going to play in that environment, everybody got to be strapped up.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Everybody, because you already are in a situation that adds an element of risk to it.
Hmm.
So why increase that risk by not protecting yourself and being safe? Now, I've been
Yeah,
in settings where nah, they definitely wasn't strapping up, and it was just, hey, everybody just do what you do. And I would be scared in that situation because, like, what if somebody gets seated up? What if somebody got something, hiding in the crooks and crevices? Now y'all all got it. Uh, that's tough.
yeah. So there was a situation that I heard about once where um some friends of mine were telling me where my friend and her dude were together and they were at a party, and because they are used to not using protection, they didn't at this party. A guy asked to
With each other or with somebody else?
no, with each other.
Okay.
They weren't. But a guy asked to join. Both of them said yes. Cool. He asked for consent. Consent was given. But he noticing, I don't know if he knew that the guy was her guy. He just saw the situation and asked to join. From what I from what I understand.
Okay.
He noticed that her guy wasn't wearing a condom, so he felt he was just gonna be able to not use a condom. So
Okay.
they both were like, hold up, hold up, hold up. So they were telling me that after that, whenever they went to parties, no matter who they were with, even if they were with each other, they started using protection just so that, they wouldn't run into that type of situation again.
I don't know. I'm not gonna limit myself if I don't fucking have to. I mean, yeah, hey,
It's
if you want to get down, these are the rules, dog. Like,
yeah,
life
yeah.
ain't fair for everybody. Yeah, he can hit it raw, you can't.
No, man, that's true. That's true.
So let's see. Sandy said, hold on, I got some. Said the man can be strapped up, but unless he is switching condoms between people, he's the only protected person. The fluids are still on the rubber. That's
That's
absolutely
true.
correct.
That
That's
is true.
absolutely correct. So you definitely need to be switching condoms. And we had D on the show back in the day, and he said that he was the condom watcher because he was
Hmm.
like, "Hey, listen, you can't, go in one woman with a condom and not switch them out because
That is true.
that's very true. And that's why you got to be on point. You can't be watching porn and get hard because that little 20-30 seconds or a minute it takes to put that new condom on and put it on, you might have a short out moment. And then everything's bad after that tape. Could you imagine being in the setting, you got two women, you in the orgy, and the next thing you know, you short out. You with your boy, and it's two of y'all, and there's three women, and then you short out, and then you sitting on the couch sitting there watching while he got to bang out the rest of them. It would be nothing worse.
I saw that in a porn once, and that's why I don't think. well, I'm not gonna say the porn actor's name, but there's a certain actor from back in the day that everybody was like, "Ooh, he's the man," and I was after that scene, I was like, "No, he's not."
Who was it?
I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna ruin nobody else's reputation, but
I mean, he a porn star. I'm sure he had another situation where he could get it. What's the name?
it was Mr. Marcus. And then the thing that messed me up was that it was a white guy who was the other guy in the situation, and he was showing him up, and I was like, "Mr. Marcus, you're supposed to be the man. Come on now."
I remember back in the day, all the women said Mr. Marcus was fine, right? But they say he fucked like a 2-year-old. Like I remember distinctly, we talking about watching porn, like in college, y'all watch porn together and stuff. They was like, yeah, he fine, but he fucked like a 2-year-old. I remember watching Jake Steve. You remember Jake Steve?
Mhm.
There's a Jake Steve film, and Jake Steve had his homeboy come over, and he was like, man, I got a chick for you, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead. And dude couldn't get hard. So like she's going down on him, and dude wasn't hard, and it was on film. And then after a while, she starts laughing at him, right? And so the dude said, "Hey man, I'm about to be out, man. You know, saying your girl sitting here laughing at me and shit." And he was like, and Jake Steve was like, "All right, bro, I'm gonna holler at you later." And if anybody watched Jake Steve films, he was known for having like a dirty mattress on the floor. Jake put that chick on that floor and wore her out. It was
That's
hilarious.
another reason why now I'm not a guy, so I don't know nothing about superhead skills. But the video I saw was her with Mr. Marcus. So I was like, are her skills really that good or is he just whack? Because I'm confused. So I don't know.
I mean, she introduced like she was doing like the two-hand thing or what have you. I think with Superhead, because she's been with so many famous people that added to the lore.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like her, but I've always said this. Some people had disagreed with me. She is stunning. She is a beautiful woman, even to this day, or what have you. So I think just her looks just adds to the allure and mystique of what she's done. So let's see what else they got to say in the chat before we wrap it up. Um, Sandy asks, let's see. Okay, I think she deleted that comment. Sandy said Julian St. Fox is the only one who held up. I thought it was Julian St. Jocks. Julian St. Jocks. That was his name, Sandy. Sandy said they were both whack, Tay. I think she was talking about Mr. Marcus.
Mhm.
She was talking about Mr. Marcus and Superhead. Antoinette said, yeah, she thought the same thing. Superhead was just average. Sean says, Sandy is that dude that had the shag. Is that the dude that had the shag back in the day? Yeah, Julian St. Jacques, he had the shag. He had like the little S curl on top with the shag
Mhm.
with the shag in the back.
Yeah.
That was him. That was him for sure. Yeah. And Sandy asked if our boy that was watching, was he a cuckold? Nah, he was the dude that was at the party. He was like the host of the party. So like he felt like it was his duty to protect everybody that was involved. So if the guy was being too aggressive, he would check that. And if a guy wasn't, switching condoms, then they would check that as well. So but
Mhm.
anyway, Tay, I think that's it. Tell them where they can find us.
You can find us at Conversates After Dark everywhere. And if you would like to be a guest on the show, you can reach us at CVAD the podcast at gmail.com. Make sure you like this video, share, subscribe, and leave us a comment.
That's right. And make sure you go to our website, www.conversateafterdark.com. We'll holler at you next time. Peace.
Bye.